Hello everyone, Dynamo here. I want to ask you guys something. Like, you're playing a video game that you thought you may like because you've seen the art direction, the gameplay, and the characters. And once you have your grasp on it, you spend so many hours trying to get into the game. But in the back of your mind, you feel this dread slowly creeping up on you. Only to finally realize that, holy crap, I cannot believe I spent so many hours trying to make the best of this situation. In the end, it just breaks you. So I wanted to share a game called Frontier Erza Wheel of Fortune is one of my few regretful purchases. Before I proceed, I just want to let you all know that I am usually not a negative person. I try my best to see the positives in most things, but this game is infuriating to me. This is where I found out about myself where Horny was a mistake. This is the first time in a while where my dick got the better of me instead of using my brain. Okay, let's begin the review. So, what is Frontier Erza Wheel of Fortune? It is an anime-style Metroidvania with an RPG progression system. You play as one of 3 female characters as a team where you can switch out in real time during combat and off the field, as well as weapon switching for each character. The game emphasizes on equipment building, and there are tons of it in here. Alright, first off, the story. Well, it doesn't make sense at all to me. None of it does because the world building is purely lacking in that department. It just throws you in the middle of nowhere and expects to know everything what's going on right away. To sum it up from the game's Steam page here, it says, an empire built in an airship to explore across uncharted lands and continents. Now, I have to add this part in my own words for plot reasons. The exploration team is attacked by some monsters in the sky. They are stranded on some mysterious land and now must explore it while encountering secrets from a long forgotten civilization. Then the game throws in a bunch of exposition at you during dialogue conversations, expecting you to know what's going on. In my opinion, it's a terrible narrative structure. Second, let's talk about the characters. All 3 ladies, they're cute and pretty. I forgot their names because their characters wasn't that compelling. To describe this trope, they are hyper feminine, wearing skirts, dresses, high heels, frilly stuff, and dainty. In other words, delicate. These are your typical anime pop idols who are somehow in the military, wielding guns, swords, and other heavy equipment. You know, that common trope. Personally, I've seen it all before. That was the impression I got when I bought this game, but take it what you will. And their personalities are super flat. Even when they have like flashbacks to help support the character's development, it doesn't help much either. I can't connect with these characters. Cuteness and prettiness, 8 and 9 out of 10. Personality, a 1 out of 10. Next, the music. It's odd, really. Most of the soundtrack is forgettable. None of the tunes are catchy, and sometimes when you enter a new level, it feels like each soundtrack lacks its own identity. Nothing makes it stand out or any different. They all sound very generic from each other. It's a weird mix. Speaking of mixes, the music does not loop properly either. Sometimes I would hear a slight skip or beat before the music loops again, thinking something was wrong. It threw me off. Number 4, the combat. This is the only saving grace for this game. There are 8 button controls: a jump, a light attack, a heavy attack, character switching button, weapon switching button, and 2 other ones using artifact mods, which are basically your equipable magic for each character. Now let's get on with the attack buttons. The controls are solid, but not immediate, meaning they'll quickly respond to your action, but there's a slight half-frame delay when you input your attack sequence. So there are rare occasions where combos might override each other if you're too fast to try to mix up the attack patterns on your own terms. Thankfully though, the movement controls saves it. It is very concise on how much you tilt the analog stick. Overall, the smoothness is great. Furthermore, the combat feedback is excellent. Enemy feels your weapon blows on them, amplifying the game's excellent sound effects. Not music, sound effects. There's also this break mechanic where under the enemy's life bar is a stun bar. Strike them enough and the enemies topple over and you can deal some serious damage to them. Number 5, RPG progression system. I would say that there's so much micromanaging with stats and collecting raw materials that pushes the item crafting, which I mentioned earlier. Equipment building is immensely grindy. You're gonna spend so many hours doing this, half the time you're staring at the menu rather than playing the game. And now, number 6, the level design. This is my biggest gripe. This is what broke me. Alright, for those who don't know, I played numerous Metroidvania-like titles, like several different types of Castlevanias and Metroid games on the Game Boy Advance, Hollow Knight, Blasphemous, Guacamelee, Monster Boy and Wonder Boy, Prince of Persia Lost Crown. and Strider. Now, these are my favorite Metroidvania-like games because of their level design is that good. But Frontier, the level layout is terrible, straight up horrendous. It's like everything is the same, but with different skins. They've also put so much emphasis on the zigzag cross pattern of traversing through the environment. This part bothers me so much to the core because it's not necessary to put that much obstacles in your path. Like, okay, sometimes here and there, I get it. But everywhere though, it feels like I'm wasting my goddamn time navigating through here. Here's an example. Look at this clip right here. You see this? Where I'm just walking around, hopping over? You see this shit? Like, why is that even there? You can just go straight instead of hopping around for absolutely nothing. This is what gets me mad, because it's so common that they put it in each area in the game. It's like, that's not necessary, and it kind of kills the flow when you're trying to adventure across the level. And the worst part is, this zigzag pattern, they copy and paste it everywhere in each biome level. It's so recognizable in almost every stage. Like, I understand that you're trying to make the world big and immersive, but doing it this way becomes dull real fast because it feels artificial. So for my final thoughts, I was in denial the whole time, thinking like about 25 hours in, I kept thinking to myself, this game will get better. It's gonna get better. It does not get better at all. The level design just kills your vibe. It just kills your mood of wanting to keep going. But I kept pushing and pushing, like, okay. And I have about almost like 90% finished in the game, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I got mad. I put down the controller because, you know, controllers nowadays are expensive. Still, if you want to torture yourself, that's fine, because the combat is what saves this game. And that's it. Like I said in the beginning, my dick got the better of me. Thank you all for watching. Down Mode out.